Hi, I'm Rachel and I'm here to do an author's answer video. But before I get to that, I have an exciting announcement. My short story Quarter Life was accepted for publication in a local anthology called District Lines. I finally got the PDF today. I've actually been waiting for over a month kind of on pins and needles, but now it feels a lot more official. District Lines is an annual anthology put out by a big local Washington, D.C. bookstore, Politics and Prose. They commission, I think, mostly local authors, but I know that all of the pieces have to be about the D.C. community somehow. And it includes fiction and nonfiction and poetry and graphic arts. So here's my proof page. I just want to show it briefly. I'm just so excited to see it laid out like this. And the font that they use for my name and for the title is the font for the bookstore. So, you know, it feels all the more official like that. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on that. I will leave a link below to a blog post that I am writing about this event, and that will have more information about this publication if that interests you. So now on to Author's Answer. Author's Answer is a series that was started by J.D. Archer and his writing group, and I will link to J.D. Archer's YouTube playlist down below, and also to my playlist, because I've been making these videos for several months now. And the next question on the list is, what are your favorite genres to read? So I thought I'd start with the genre that I write in, which is literary fiction. When I say literary fiction, I'm referring to the idea that I'm writing for adults and my stories are very character-centric. I think I've talked in other videos about how much I hate plot. It scares me and I don't know what to do with it. And that, I think, is the distinction between the terms literary fiction and mainstream fiction, which is realist, I think, adult fiction with plot first. But I know all of this gets a little hairy. I know that there's other terms for things written for adults too, but that's what I'm going with. And I also enjoy reading both literary and mainstream fiction written for adults. Particularly, I have a bent for fiction about Jewish issues in that category. I also have a big penchant for the mashup genre, I suppose, of that's called literary speculative fiction. Although I watched a video recently by Steve Donahue, and he points out that sometimes it's a gimmick for literary fiction writers who don't want to do the world building but just want to have like a weird gimmick in an otherwise realist story, and how that doesn't always work. But ever since I read Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, I've just loved that story so much, and she definitely does a whole lot of world building, but she also focuses on like the smaller character moments between people too, and so that's the type of stuff I like. And every time a piece of fiction is compared to Station 11, I tend to try to grab it. Or at least I've grabbed a few in the past few years. And on the topic of speculative fiction, I also have a soft spot for YA fantasies. I don't read all of the contemporary ones. I don't think all of them would appeal to me, but I do see a lot crop up that would appeal to me, and I really enjoy them. They often give me something to think about, and they're also fun and escapist. My favorite, I think, that's currently being published right now is Sabaa Tahir's An Ember in the Ashes series. I'm really, really enjoying that one. Can't wait for the next one to come out! And so then that brings me to the other genres that I'm interested in reading, which is adult science fiction and fantasy. I think I've always been a little more into fantasy in my reading than science fiction. Most of my science fiction I used to watch on television pretty exclusively, but for the past couple of years I've been trying to get into reading it more, and I think one of the things that really helped in that arena for me was the Wayfarer series by Becky Chambers, because those books remind me a lot of my favorite shows, so I've really enjoyed those. And in my upcoming video about my favorite 2017 reads, I'll be talking about more. And finally, I guess this ties back to what I predominantly write too. I love realist literary fiction short stories. I actually can't do it very easily with science fiction and fantasy short stories. I try, but I feel like I just need more space to have the world grow, to get into it, you know, the world building. But I love literary short stories a whole lot. And in fact, for the past week over Hanukkah, I've been doing my own version of the Advent short story calendar, as it were, where I've been reading a short story for every night of Hanukkah, and Hanukkah's still going on, but you can expect that video from me where I review several short stories coming up later this week. So that about covers it for me now. It's been a little while, I think, since I've put a video on here, but I'm so glad in a way that I waited until today because I had such good news to share. And I actually even got to share it with my writing group tonight, which was really awesome to get their support. And other people have been having great news come up too, so it's great to spread the love, especially around the holidays. Gotta wrap up some projects, writing projects and reading projects for 2017, and I hope you're doing great with that stuff too. I hope that you're feeling good and optimistic about where your journeys are taking you. So happy holidays to you. I hope you're having a great one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.